is going to be recorded at the same time. So anything that we do here will be recorded, and I'll post the recording in Google Classroom that you're in, so you can go back and relive the memories. Fast forward to the stuff you do know, rewind to the things you don't know. So let's get down to this. All right, so this is what we call the stream. And in the stream of Google Classroom is where you place the items you want your students to view or comment on or anything like that. And you have all of your options for this stream down here in the corner at the plus button. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a brown or whatever color your theme is, plus button down here. And when you click on it, it gives you these options. It gives you create an announcement. So that would be like, you know, here's today's agenda, or hey, don't forget tomorrow to bring your books. Whatever kind of announcement you would want to give out to the students, that's what the announcement would be about. An assignment would be something you actually want them to complete. And it doesn't necessarily have to be work, just maybe an announcement you want them to say like, hey, after you read this so that I know you understand it, click turn in. It's just so that you could be notified that they have read it and they do agree to it, or that you do know they have read it, and that kind of assignment. So if anything that you want documentation that they have opened and viewed would be an assignment. And even working things that they would work on, you would do that as well. Create a question. So you were asking me about, you know, leaving a comment on a post. For this, it would leave their name next to it. So it would not be able to be anonymous. So if you do want to have kind of like a classroom conversation where students can comment on other students' comments, this would be what you'd want to use. But if you want it to be anonymous, we'll have to go a different route. And then reuse a post. This is a godsend to us. I mean, when we first started using Google Classroom, you could only post something right then and there. If you wanted to post something, you had to get on, click new assignment, post the assignment in, attach the documents, and hit done. Every time you wanted to post an assignment, that's what you'd have to do. Now you can reuse a post from any period of history, from any class that you've ever posted from. So if I wanted to post something to you from, say, my science class, all I would do is click on repost, asks which classroom. I have a lot of classrooms. Which classroom would you like to repost from? And let's say period 1 science. And what would you like? And it always goes from the most recent to the past. So let's say I want to post our Unit 3 Jigsaw Kahoot that we did today. I click reuse. It asks, is that the name you want? Here is your due date right here. Some things you may not want a due date with. Some things it's just something you want them to read and want them to have, you know, so you would click, uncheck that box, and now there's no due date right there. It allows a due date from anywhere from that point on into the future, and it even allows you to attach a time. So I always tell my kids, your labs are due on Friday at 8 p.m. And they go, we don't even have you on Friday, and we're at home at 8 p.m. I go, I know. I don't need to have you turn something in. It's all digital now. So I'm giving you an extra day and until that night to turn it in. So it kind of changes their mindset a little bit that, oh, schoolwork is more than just in the classroom. And due dates are more than just when I see you. It can be anytime at any place. And then right now it's going to be posting the CUSD tech trainings. If I wanted to post it to all my classes at once, all I would have to do is click on all these. So let's say you have an assignment you want to give your classes today, and it's 1 through 7. Instead of going into each classroom and going repost to period 2, repost to period 3, you just check mark all the periods that you want to post to, and it sets them up. And then finally, you click assign. Let's say that you don't want to assign it now, though. Let's say you wanted it set up, but you want to assign it maybe at the end of the period. You don't want them trolling your stream and working on assignments while you're talking. You want to do it later. You would click on save as a draft. So now, let's say that we're talking in class. And I'm like, okay, now I want to post the assignment. Up here at drafts, I go down. Here's the jigsaw. Now I can click assign. And now I push it out to you. And so now on your screen, you should see a black bar at the bottom that says stream updated. You click show, and you should now see the name of the assignment and the link to the assignment. And I'm going to show you this website later on called Formative. It turns any worksheet, any lab, any PDF, any image into an actual interactive assignment. And a lot of teachers are like, well, you know, I want to go digital, but everything I have is hard copies. I don't have any digital copies. Scan it, put it into Formative, and boom, they can work on it just like they would with pencil and paper, but it's all digital. And you see their answers in real time. They don't even have to hit submit. Every keystroke is pushed to your computer so you can see the kids working on it. And it's very classroom friendly. It's easy to push it out to classroom, and I'm going to show you that as well. So that's how you can grab any previously posted work. But what if you want to post something brand new? Okay, so let me show you some more things in this before we go into the posting of the assignments. So off to the right, as the teacher, these are all the assignments that I've given out. So let's say that I had an assignment I gave a kid 2 weeks ago, and a kid says, hey, Mr. Marquez, I've updated my assignment. You told me that I can update it and you'd regrade it. It's all regraded. Instead of having to go through all these and go, where is it? You can go show all. These are all your assignments you've ever issued. And you can take a look in an easy list format of where it's at. And then you'd come in, click on it, and click on the kid's assignment. And it's right there to be regraded. So you don't have to go search in your Google Drive for it. It's right here placed in a nice, easy, viewable window. And here's the great thing about this. As soon as they click on the assignment, it creates the very own assignment for themselves. They don't have to share it with you. You don't have to ask them to share it with you. It automatically shares the assignment with you and with them. But also, you see the little icon right here of the assignment? I know they've opened it, and at least they've looked at it because it creates this little icon. If you look over here where it says no attachments, I know for a fact they haven't even clicked on the assignment. They haven't even opened it up. So as a teacher, you start seeing these windows populate, and you go over there, hey, Johnny, you have no attachments. You haven't even opened this thing up yet. So that's an easy catch-all for the kids. Hey, get on it, get on task. Right there. You can leave private comments, students as well. If I show you this, if I scroll in, let's say I wanted to go down to Penny, leave her a private comment. It opens up this little screen of her assignment, and I can leave a private comment on her assignment. So only she would be able to view my comments. And this is an easy way for students to communicate with me. So I tell my students, if you want me to regrade an assignment, go into Classroom and leave a private comment, and it'll post it right underneath their name, and I can regrade it and then post, I just regraded it for you. And it timestamps it and dates it for you.
So if they turn something too early, they can go back in and fix it, or I have to allow them to go back?
So what happens is, if they click turn in, you have it. And the only way that they can go back and regrade it is if you click return and return it back to them. So that's why I tell them don't turn it into me until you're absolutely sure you want to turn it in. But you can always leave a comment for me to take a look at it. And I can always go in and look at it and leave comments for them and say, hey, it'd be good to change this up, or maybe look over here before you turn it in. Let me go. And then this little arrow in the upper corner always brings you back to your stream. So this little, like I said, this little thing right here, it works for students as well. Students tell me all the time, Mr. Marquez, I can't find that lab that we're working on. It's somewhere in my stream. If they just click on view all, it shows every assignment you've issued to them in order of when they were turned in. So this is an easy way for the students to view where their assignments are. And a lot of kids forget that, and they're like, oh, I can't find it. click on that box. It'll bring them all up for you. Now you can delete assignments. Let's say that I turn these, I decided I don't want this in my stream anymore. I leave everything the entire year. My stream just gets huge. But if you do like unit 1, and then once unit 1 is done, you don't want that stuff there anymore, you can delete them. But they only get deleted out of the stream. They don't get deleted out of your drive. All their assignments are still there for you to view. And that's what this little button is here for. This little button here says show deleted items. If you click on that, you delete something, it'll still show it to you kind of as a shadow. Like this assignment's deleted, the students aren't allowed to see it, but you can still view it if you want. And maybe I should start doing that for so my kids can have a cleaner stream, but it's easy just to do that and that. And delete it right there.
Seems like it makes sense to do that when you're changing semesters or courses.
Yes, semesters, you can do that as well. Because, I mean, you can't go back and regrade or anything like that. I love to keep copies of all my kids' work so that when I go around and do presentations and I show other districts, you know, how to go paperless and how to use Google, I show them student examples of how easy it is to access and get. So I don't delete it. But even when you do delete it off, once again, it's still there. You see how it's there, but it's shadow view now, and it's still in your Google Drive for you to view. Here's your class code. This is what I gave you all right down here. It doesn't change unless you want to change it. So let's say that you had a kid kicked out of your class and you erased him from your classroom, but he still has your class code, so he can go back in and rejoin. If that ever happens, you can come down here and reset your code. All those kids that are already in there will still be in your class. It's just a new code for any new entering kids. So that's never happened to me before, but you know, you never know if you're working at, you know, Gateway or something. Next to it is the student stream. So this shows you all the kids or people that are in your class. And like I was telling you, let's say that I want to kick Kelly out of my class. I go into Kelly, go to actions, and I can remove her directly from the class. Right there. Over here is a little option as an instructor. You're not going to have this option on yours right now because you have it listed as student. But as instructor, you have the option of allowing students to post and comment. The post part is, you know how I said you have an announcement? The kids can post an announcement in the stream. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. So I always go down to students can only comment so that they can comment on something in the stream, but they can't post something in the stream. Or if you really want to lock it down, only a teacher can post and comment. And what that means is, if I go back to the stream, notice classroom training, there's a little option down here, comment. Somebody can post there and comment on that. And I always tell my students, the only reason you would post in this area is if you have a question about the assignment that you think the rest of the class also has a question on. You don't post hello, you don't post hi, you don't post how you're doing. And if that ever happens, you can mute them. If a student ever starts doing things you don't want, all you do is go back to the students, click on the student's name, and under actions, go to mute. And now they can't comment on anything. They can still turn assignments in, but they can't comment on those assignments. And you see there's a little icon right here to remind you that person has been muted. If you want to mute them really quick, and could somebody please, somebody comment? Right here, look, right there. So Garrett commented, I'm like, nope, don't want this, mute. So you can mute them directly from the stream. So you don't have to worry about going to students, finding the student, clicking, you can delete them. And then you can also choose to delete the comment so it gets removed from the stream. So if I mute Garrett and I delete his comment, it goes away. Now, the comment is only deleted from the kids stream. You still have access to the comment. So if it's a bad comment, you're like, you want to prove to your LD or somebody that they left this comment, it's gone. The kids can delete their comments, but it still stays on yours. So anything the kids put in there is documented and time-stamped when it actually occurred. So I tell them right up. I tell them, don't goof around. Don't be a turd in this class. I mean, I will catch you. And I'm not saying like, haha, I got you. I'm being straight up with you. If you do anything wrong, anything suspicious, anything to bring down the class environment, you will be caught and you will be in trouble because I catch everything, right? And it's always saved. So your stream as the instructor will be a little bit different depending on what you delete and what you mute and what goes on. And finally, there's the About page. If you click on the About page, I like to think of this as like the bulletin board. This is where I post. Let me show you my science class. So science period 1. Oh, by the way, that's the easy way to switch classes. There's a little, I call those the pancakes right here. And it brings up all your classes right here. If I go to my About page, these are the things I want my students to be able to have quick access to whenever they need it. So I have my textbooks. So my textbook chapters 4 and 5 for my unit number 3. If they don't have their textbook, if they lost it, if they're on a trip and all they have is their cell phone, they can access their PDF right on the phone and do some studying right there. How to log in. I mean, if they're on here, they've already logged in, but I've left on how to log in up there. Digital device permission slip, internet safety contract, my class syllabus. So anything that they may need quick access to at any moment's notice, they're all right there. Kind of think of it as like a bulletin board, filing cabinet for your class. That's what I have right there. Also, every single thing that you post in Classroom also gets posted to a brand new calendar page in your Google Calendar titled whatever your class is titled. So if I come up here and click in View in Classroom, everything that I posted as an assignment gets posted right up there. And it also, if I click Show in Calendar, it also posts it in your actual Google Calendar. And like if you look over here, I have my personal calendar, which is in yellow, the sports calendar, which is in purple, and then all the other calendars for my classrooms are all right here. CUSD Technology, CUSD Tech Trainings, they're all right there. And there's Mr. Marquez's science class. Anything I post in Classroom automatically gets populated on this calendar. And if you have this calendar on your website, you don't really ever have to update your website again. Everything gets populated on the calendar automatically. But it has to be done through assignment. It won't post announcements. It has to be anything with the date. So let's say you have an assignment that's due on December 9th. It will post the assignment as the due date December 9th. That's where it'll put it in your calendar. Do I like that? Not one bit. I want everything to be posted in my calendar. My announcements, the issue date and the due date, I want that all posted. So what do I do every day? There's a little button down here with a question mark. That is where you have the power to tell Google what you would like to see in Classroom. You click on it and you say send feedback. And what this does is it opens up a whole thing. What would you like Google to add? I would like announcements to also be in. I'd like announcements to also be included in Google Calendar. Okay. Highlight what you would like them to focus on. Okay, right here. And right there, there's a screenshot, there's your thing, and I click submit and done. It goes right to Google and they populate based on need. So the most things people request get moved to the top of the queue, and that's what they add for every release. They release a brand new version every 3 months based on teacher feedback, not based on what they want, based on what teachers are asking for. And so everything that I've shown you is because of teacher feedback. So this plus button was based on teacher feedback. This reuse a post button based on teacher feedback. The draft feature, allowing you to post it early but not release it until you want, all based on teacher feedback. The calendar integration, all based on teacher feedback, all of it. Google doesn't do anything that teachers don't want. They're not going to put the extra effort in if you don't want it. So basically, Google says that Google Classroom is an ongoing experiment for teachers by teachers. What you want, they'll add. What you don't use, they're going to remove. A lot of people say, well, you know, Google Classroom doesn't have all the bells and whistles of like an Edmodo or a Schoology. It's not meant to. It's meant to only have the features that you want and you've requested. So they don't, you know, they don't like, if like Microsoft Word, you have like 50,000 fonts and you have all these different features, and you go to Google Docs and it only has a few things. Well, it shows you the things that people mostly use. All the rest of the stuff, they have it, but they don't post it out there. You have to actually look for it to grab that stuff. Let me go back to our classroom that we're in, tech trainings. There we go. And so that's what the about page is about. And finally, you can also invite a teacher. Let's say you have an aide in your class that you want them to check on the students' work as well. You can always invite them to be part of the class, and they can leave comments on those kids' work. They can view the kids' work. Just make sure that they're supposed to have access.
They can post and everything.
Yes.
They become just like
They become just like a teacher.
And everybody who is an employee in Clovis Unified and has a district email account, where they can check their email through Outlook or through the web Outlook, they do have a Google account as well, and it will be automatically set to teacher level. So it's not something that we have to create for them.
The only feature that you will not be able to use in Google Classroom is the mail feature. You will not be able to email your students directly because the district has the Gmail function of our accounts turned off because we use Outlook. We don't want to use Gmail and Outlook because funky things happen. So we turn off the so you won't be able to mail them directly. But like I said, if you leave a student comment in the private section, it automatically emails the kid a notification that you've left something in there in a private comment. So you don't really need the email function anyways. So went to the, oh, and notice in my classrooms, I have pictures of myself. Up here, you can always change your backgrounds by clicking on select theme. Now they have, quite a few. They started off with just 4, but now they've, looks like they even have a brain or something there. Organs, intestines. They have all those things, different patterns for your background, or you can upload a photo from your computer as your background. So, you could make it as fancy as you want.
So, Joe, I don't know if you're gonna address this, but if you've never had a kid that's done Google Classroom, how did you throw it out there to them? Is there a video they watch, or do you open it all up at once and have them run through it like you're doing with us?
So the first week was just with the kids on their computers. Okay, turn on the computer. Log in. Now log into Google. Okay, we're done. That's all it was. The first week, turning on the computer, logging into Google successfully, and turning it off. That's all we did. Everything else was just getting to know you activities in the class and learning how to use the scientific method, but no real computer work the first week. The second week, I added Google Classroom. Okay, so I would turn on your computer, log into Google, now type in classroom.google. Okay, now bookmark that. Bookmark is just the little star right there. Now, and it adds a little bookmark right here for them. Now bookmark that. Now add my class. Okay, you're done. And that's all we did that second week. And then the third week, I started posting things in there. And by that time, they kind of understood how to do it. So slowly but surely. And every couple weeks, I added something new. So after Classroom, I started using something called Nearpod. Then after Nearpod, I just started using something called Formative. So every 2 weeks, I added something new to their plate, but they understood it. So now they, I can just walk in and go, "How you guys doing?" Like, "All right, you see your agenda," and they go. They just go to Classroom. They see their agenda. They click on their assignments. There's the instructions. I'm like, "Hi." I'm just there to answer questions and to help guide them along a little bit. But everything is self-paced for them and self-motivating. And I see all of their answers appear on my screen. And if I see that they need help, I can walk right over to there and say, "Hey, let's go through this. You're not quite getting it." So it's really helped me to kind of streamline my class and to get the lower kids up to a higher level and get the high kids up to a great level. So it's really worked out very well. You have to see Google Classroom as your mission control. It's where they go every day to do something. They don't know what they're going to do, but at least they know that that's their landing spot. That's where they're going to go every single day. And it could be something as simple as a question. I have one science teacher who started he loved doing a quote of the day and getting the kids' thoughts. But what he would do is have them write on a piece of paper, and only the kids that wanted to share out would share out, and they would never turn the papers in. So he would never see the quiet kids' responses. And I said, well, why don't we start doing that in Google Classroom? And so we set him up with the Classroom. I went in there and we got all the kids on and they were going. And all he does now every day is he comes in and creates a question. He puts the quote in here. So I'm going to type in a question. What food did you have at Thanksgiving? All I do is ask it. And it asks, do you want the students to see and reply to each other's answers? Yes, I do. I want them to be able to see each other's answers and reply to each other. And right there. And then so on your stream, you should see down at the bottom, it now says your stream has been updated. You can now answer this question. He does this every single day now, and he gets every student's responses. And the kids he thought, just didn't know what was going on, they're the very, very well thought out answers. And you can see a lot of kids finally coming in and commenting on those answers. So if you could, please answer this question. What food did you have at Thanksgiving? Now, I do want you to understand, make sure you type where it says insert answer here, not where it says add class comment. That's one of the big things that students always make a mistake on is they leave their answer where it says class comment. You want to leave the answer where it says enter answer here.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta go come down here and show. There you go. Right, your answer. What's great is I'm just realizing this because my phone keeps buzzing. I have the Google Classroom app, and every time you put something, it's telling me that you've now put something on my
Yes.
as an assignment or a question or whatever.
And I'm glad you brought that up because about a month, maybe 6 weeks ago, I don't know. It was a while back. When we first started doing this, I posted a question and kids were answering, and I went in there and I go, wait a minute, that girl's absent. How is she typing something? And she's had a very good response. Kids were responding to her. She was responding to other kids. And I'm like, are you sure she's not here? Because she wasn't anywhere. And I saw her the next day. I said, hey, you weren't in class yesterday, but you sure answered everything we were doing. She was like, I was at a dentist appointment, and my phone rang, and it was Google Classroom saying you posted something, so I decided to join. Right, sitting there in the dentist's office, she was part of the class. And so this is, and like you said, they had the app. And the app, as long as it's linked to their student account, which it has to be because Google Classroom is not available for anybody else, it'll update whenever there's an announcement or an assignment or a question. It'll leave it as an email, but also as a notification on their phone. So, and that's what I have a digital device contract that if anybody wants, you can use it. It says on there, these are the apps I would like your son or daughter to download. And they're all free. I go, but average data rates occur and I'm not responsible, blah, 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 blah. Please do it at home on your own Wi-Fi, all that stuff. So they don't come back and say, we had a $400 digital bill, blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing that. But these are the apps I would like you to download. We will be using them throughout the year. Please download them at your own convenience, not at school. And I give the reasoning why for each one, and Google Classroom is the top one up there. So there's Elements 4D, Anatomy 4D, all these other ones I use for science, but that one's the top one because I want every single one of my kids who has access to a cell phone to be able to get that instant notification when it's needed. And so I can actually, as the instructor, come in here and see your responses. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 responders, which means everybody responded. But I have lots of people in this classroom because I've done a lot of trainings. But as the instructor, if you click on not done, all these kids are not done. At an instant click, you can see, you can be like, hey, Tony, what's up? You've had 20 minutes to write something, post it. And then you can go all the kids that are done right there. And I can reply and you guys can all reply to each other. And so you can get a nice conversation going about these things. But it does leave your name attached to all your comments. Now, let's say just on the fly, you want the students to do a quick report in, let's say, Google Docs, but you don't have anything set up. Let me show you how easy it is for the instructor to set this up. But then on your end, I want to show you as the student what you have to do. Okay. So actually that means I have to join as a student on this one, but I'm going to come down to plus, create an assignment. Find using Google Docs. Find the best planet find the best planet besides Earth to live on. Now, notice I don't have anything to add to it. I have nothing to add. It's just something I came up with. It was a long day yesterday, and I don't have anything for the kids to do, but we are talking about planets. So what am I going to have the kids do? Well, I want them to do some research, so I'm just going to post this. And so I click Assign. Now, let me join as a student. So I'm going to show you what, I'm going to join as what you see. And there's the notification. I'm going to join a class. What was that code again?
BCG.
BCG 3DQ? 3BQ. There we go. So I'm in my student view. Okay, so I click on it. Oh, okay, there's using Google Docs, find the best planet besides Earth to live on. Well, there's nothing for me to do. I guess I don't have to do anything. That's what your kids are going to say. All they have to do is come down to create and click on Docs. That's it. Create, click on Docs. And there it is. It automatically creates a Google Doc with the name of the assignment and their name. Plus, it automatically shares it with you. So they don't have to go in and share it with you and type in your long email and misspell the long email and put the dot where it's not supposed to. And instead of K12, they put KL2. All these things that happen no longer because it automatically creates it for you and shares it with you.
Can you set up a form that they can edit?
A form?
Or like, can you format that document exactly like the 1" 1" title page, put in this?
Yep.
Copy and paste random letters.
So yeah, you could create, and I'll show you that next one. You can create a Google Doc as the template, and shoot it out to the kids, and that makes a copy of that template for all the kids. But this is an on the fly. I don't have anything ready. I don't have anything to do. And now the kids are like, well, now what do you want me to do? Like go to Google and search? Well, you could, because that's easy. But all they have to do is go to tools, research, and all of Google's right there for them. That's all there. And so, oh, I want to live on Mars. Okay, let's type in Mars. Done. Oh, there. I like this picture. Drag it, drop it, done. And notice, what is that little thing there? That's a footer, right? It's a 1. If I go down, look what it did. It automatically cites where they got it, automatically for them. Couldn't be easier. Well, I want it to be in Chicago style format. Okay, Chicago, done. It does everything for you. Right there. And so using Google Docs, find the best planet to live on besides Earth. They have access to everything right here. They don't have to go, they don't have to exit out of the doc. And while they're working on it, let me show you my teacher view. While you're working on it, I, as the teacher, click here. And I start seeing, I know Leanne has created something. I know David has created something. I know Joe, because that's me, has created something. Debbie's created something. By the icon popping up, I know they have at least opened up the document and started a Google Doc. I know that they have successfully completed that part. But if I want to kind of peek in on to see what Joe is doing to make sure that he's just not typing gibberish, I can see in real time what's going on. If I want to peek in on and see what Debbie's doing, I click on Debbie's. And right there, I can see her working. And if she starts typing some more, in real time, there's her name. I see her typing right there. So, I mean, you can kind of like I know this kid never does work. I'm going to kind of just spy and see what he's doing. I mean, just like that.
But there's no way to tell if they have like another window open. You'd have to like actually go around and see.
No, correct. I mean, but I mean, it won't cite it for. I mean, if they go and find it in Google or go to google.com.
Another window like doing what they're not supposed to.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. You. I mean, you'd have to. I mean, you still have to do the walk around. I use the wireless function in my yoga, so I sit in the back of the room, and so I see all their screens. So I mean, I'm not sitting up at the front, and I can see everybody. You know, I'm like, dude, why are you playing that stupid engulf another person's blob game? I don't even know what that's called, but I'm right here. I mean, come on. So.
But there is, I teach at City College at 1 night a week, and there's something on my master screen where I can click and see all their screens.
Oh, there's tons. There's tons of different companies with those types of things. There's a free one called iTalk, but you have to install on all the devices. We can't install those on devices that the kids own. You know, when I ran a computer lab like this at Alta, I installed iTalk on all the computers, so I could be sitting at my desk and all the kids' screens appear on mine, so I can see what they're doing when they're doing it. So there's tons of things you can do, but most of the time it's pay for. You got to pay for it. Chromebooks, they have tons that you can view off Chromebooks. But there's lots of stuff you can do for Windows machines, but they cost quite a bit of money, and they take up a lot of bandwidth as well. So that's that. And let's say what Garrett was saying. Let's say you already have kind of a format of something you want them to fill in. So let's say that you have planned ahead, and this is where your Google Drive comes into play big time. You want to store all of your documents in your Google Drive. You don't want to store them on your computer. You can store them in your drive as Microsoft stuff. You won't lose it if you don't want to, and you can individually convert them to Google Docs, or you can drag them all over and they can automatically convert over to Google Docs. I don't recommend that. But I highly recommend, if you have not done so, every single file that you have on your computer, drag it over to your Google Drive and have it saved there. Google Drive has unlimited storage for us. Unlimited. I've already used up 1 terabyte of storage in Google Drive by putting all of our videos and YouTube videos. Every video that our science department uses, I've shared with them. So we can all watch, the same Bill Nye at the same time without having to wait. When are you going to use that one? Okay, I wanted to use it that day. But I'm getting a sub that day, so I definitely need it. Everybody has access to it at the same time. But I highly recommend it, and I'm sure.
If you share it, right? You can
Correct.
store things in Google Drive that.
Correct. Yes.
Can you share assignments that you've created in Classroom with other teachers at Classroom? Like you did with the repost, but.
What I do is I have what's called the BHS science team. And so all my assignments that I have, I repost in science team, and then they can repost into their science classrooms. Correct. It's kind of like, I'm going to share it with you.
So you create a class for those other teachers to come and grab your stuff.
Yeah, it's our professional development class. Okay. So everything that I do in my class, I share in there so they can see what I'm doing, and they share all their stuff so I can see what they're doing. And a lot of the stuff we're like, why are we both creating 2 separate things but just doing the same thing? Let's stop and let's just do one thing, and we'll all share it. So you do Unit 3 stuff, you do Unit 4 stuff. It cuts the work down in half for us all, and all the kids have access to this great work. So that's what our entire department has a Google Classroom as a professional development, and that's where we share all of our things into.
So they're all signed in as teachers for that.
Correct. I shared them all as I invited them all as teachers.
I see.
Yeah. And it's great for administration as well. I tell them, or just for the entire department, right? I mean, for your entire school. Hey, everybody join this Google Classroom, and we can send out notifications when this is happening or that is happening, especially when email goes down, which has happened quite a bit, right? But let's say we do have an assignment in our Google Drive. So I go to create an assignment. There's a few different things you can do. So you have what is that? An attachment. Paperclip. You have your paperclip to attach any document. So that could be from your computer. Here's the problem. If you attach like a Microsoft Word document, it's not going to be shared with you. And the kids can edit it, but they have to download a copy for themselves and then get it and then reattach it. There's a lot of extra steps. That is a YouTube video. At the moment, that won't work because YouTube is blocked for students. They can view it at home. They won't be able to view it at school. That's slowly changing because Google now allows you to, as a teacher, click on it and say, allow it for student viewing. But the problem is teachers have the Clovis USD domain, and the students have their Clovis USD student domain. It's not the same domain, so it's not unlocking it for them. There's some flubbing going on there, but I can show you a way around that very easily. And then there's a link. So if you want them to visit a website, you can always click a link. And you can attach as many of these as you want. It doesn't have to be just one. So if you're going to do a document, but also want them to visit a website, you can put both of them on there as their resources. Let's say you want them to do a research paper, but they can only use the 4 papers you want them to use. You can attach the 4 papers of what they can research. So you can do whatever you want here to set the assignment up. But here it is. I'm going to click on My Drive, and it brings up all the folders in my drive. I have lots of folders. I'm going to click on Alta Sierra because that's where my stuff is. And I'm going to click on Science. Actually, let me go back. I want to click on Starters. All right, so let's say I want to give you this starter of the day. I click on it. Now, this icon, the little orange square, that's like a slide, a Google slide, like a PowerPoint. But this could be very easily done in Google Docs as well. It's already pre-made. I click Add, and I'll put starter number 8. We do this every day. Okay, You can put a due date there. Like I said, if you don't want there to be a due date, you can always click there and turn the due date off. Now, here's the thing most teachers get messed up with. Right now, it's defaulted to students can view the file. That means if you click on it and assign it, they'll be able to only view it. They won't be able to edit it. They won't be able to do anything to it. It's just like you're handing out an assignment, like a worksheet, or not a worksheet, just instructions. They can't work on it at all. Worthless. Students can edit file. That sounds like something I want, except what happens is you're pushing the same document out to all the kids, but just the one document. So you have 30 kids working on the same document at the same time. I'll tell you, that doesn't work very well. We did a laptop camp this summer with over 250 kids in one of our sessions, and I accidentally clicked on that. 250 kids trying to work on one document. We basically crashed the document. It didn't work. So don't do that. This is what you're going to want most of the time. Make a copy for each student. This document goes to every kid. It titles it, the name of the document, and then attaches the kid's name. And then I click assign. There you go. Now, if you could check your stream, at the bottom, it should say show. At the very top, click on the document. It should open up to your very own starter number 8. And I can start seeing, I know David's clicked on it because I see that it's popped up there. I know Casey's clicked on it because it's popped up there. And I can click on David's to see how he's doing when he's typing things in. Right there. So this is how you can get something you've already made to where the students can type in on it right there.
With that, let's say I make my project, none of my kids are added into it. Let's say the kid adds late, will you be able to see that project, or do I have to push it once every kid's loaded?
Nope. So let's say that you have a kid that shows up, like a brand new kid tomorrow. You pushed it out on Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Brand new kid comes into class. What do? Well, as soon as you log him into Google Classroom, he gets access to everything. Everything. Yeah.
If you start typing on the line separates.
Correct. I mean, so yeah, you'd have to, it's not perfect. I mean, you can always erase the line and then just start typing. What I tell my kids to do on something like this is I would like you to type in a different font and in a different color. And then what I do is this. This is how I grade them. It's pretty easy. All I do is this. Let me show you my science class. And let me find a student. Let's go with Sierra. All I do is highlight her name. And in my Google Drive, that's my wake-up alarm. Unit number 1, starter, and then I just paste in his name. I'll pop up. And all I do is I click on preview. Right there. It's all in a different font. She answered all of them. Next. A different font. She answered all of them. Next. A different font. Answered all of them. Next. So why am I not reading every single thing? We go over these in class, and they're supposed to use these as notes to study for the test. So if they don't want to change their answer to the correct answer, I mean, they're just going to, the test score is worth way more than a starter. They're going to sit there and read every single thing. As long as they typed I can see on every single one, I'm going to get credit for. Boom, credit. 1 through 8.
I have a question. You said that uploading, and this might be something everybody else knows, but uploading attachment is kind of an ugly process. You said for the kids, they have to download it and everything.
Correct.
Is there an easy to attach instead of convert like a Word document into the Google Docs?
Absolutely. So I can show you that right now. So in Google Docs, you can upload anything. Do you know how to upload?
No.
So all you do is go to your Google Drive.
Okay.
Under New, you click on Upload. Now, you can do it by file or folder. I recommend grabbing your entire document folder and just loading it up. Depending on how much stuff you have in there, it may take about 20 to 24 hours. Depends. If it does take a long time, I just say let your computer run, go home that night, come back, it should all be done.
Okay. And you can plug in with an Ethernet cable.
Yeah,
Even then.
yeah, that'll be even faster. Hardwire is always faster, but it'll go in, and it doesn't matter what files you have in there. You can always go in there and delete them. You know what I mean? But once they're in, all you have to do. So let me find so here are the icons. So a purple icon right here, that's a Google form. That's like, you can even do questions on here, multiple choice questions, and have it automatically grade for you. And you get the answer right then and there. It's pretty easy. This is Google Sheets. It's like Excel. So that's what that icon is. This is Google Docs, which is the blue icon. And this is Google Slides. That's like Google Presentation. So, and so let me show you. And this is Google Drawing. You can do nice little drawings, very, very good diagrams, word webs with this. It's probably the most underutilized Google product out there. I like it a lot. Then there's your PDF. You can't do anything with PDF. Well, you can. If you open it with something called Doc Hub, you can edit a PDF under Doc Hub, which is an extension on Google. Let me go down. There it is. So here's a Word document. You see where it says W? That is a Microsoft Word document. If I try and just click on it to open it, just does this. I can't do anything with it because it's a Microsoft Word document. But I can open it with Docs. So if I right click on it, open with Google Docs. It'll convert it to a editable calendar. Now you can come in here and do it. Now all you have to do is share this on Google Classroom, and now it can be handed out to every single kid as an editable document.
Did you say that was Google Doc that you used?
Correct.
How are you sharing that with the classroom from this point?
Okay, I'll show you right now. So it's called Calendar ASI 2012. So now I go into my classroom. I'm going to go into our classroom, tech trainings. I go to create an assignment. I go grab this calendar. Click on Drive, the icon.
So it converted it to a doc. Did it also leave one as a Word still?
Yes, it still leaves it as Word. And there it is. There's my Google Calendar 2012. I click Add. It asks, how do I want the kids to view this? I'm going to go ahead and give you each a copy for your own so you can add things to it. And I click Assign. Done. Simple as that.
You said you put Bill Nye's on Google Drive. How did you do that?
So what you would have to do, number one, you have to ask your library media specialist of your copyrights that you have on all your videos. If it is solid media only, you can't turn it into a digital copy. If it's a digital media as well, then you can convert that to a digital file. There's a lot of different programs out there that would do it. If you have access to it, your library media specialist should be able to do it for you if you ask nicely. And then you would put it in your Google Drive. and then share it out. But you have to check your copyrights that your school has laid with those videos. Digital copies usually cost more when you buy them. So you want to double check when they purchase them. Is it just that copy, or do you have access to digital copies as well? But then notice now you all have access to that calendar. We took it from a Word. Then we turned it into a Google Doc, and now you all have access to it. And now it's your very own copy. And I also have sharing rights with you as your instructor in there.
Now, when you put that, students can, or make a copy for the students themselves. Let's say you didn't do that and you messed up like the first time, it says students can only view it. Can you go back and fix that, or to delete the whole assignment?
Yeah, so for that, because it actually creates a status for that as its very own copy, you got to do it again. Yeah, you have to do that again. You want to delete that? I do it all the time.
Yeah.
You have to delete it. And what's worse is when you do it for all your classes and send it out and you realize, oh, I've didn't make a copy for each kid. Or when you forget to attach the file.
Right.
Because then you can still attach one after the fact, but you have to go to every class that you pushed it out to and attach it.
Because today I made one of those things where you have to, like, it's like a survey where once enough people choose it, it disappears. But nobody's done it yet, and I'm sure they've tried.
Oh, Choice Eliminator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I saved it wrong.
Yeah, Choice Eliminator is great, except you want to make sure that you don't like push it out. Like I wouldn't push it out to all you guys and say, do this, because it takes about 15 to 30 seconds for the choice to go away. So if you have two people choosing at the same time, it won't go away. So that's, question.
Well, I just wondered when we're done here, since you indicated that Google Draw is underutilized, is there a way to go through that today? Or is that something?
Yeah, if we have time towards the end, I can show you some things you can do with it. If you're a social studies teacher, if you're a science teacher, there's a great way to put the periodic table in there as a interactive periodic table. A great way to put your states as interactive states in Google Draw. There's a lot of great things you can do with Google Draw. But yeah, that'd be part of what, Google can't do what. That's one of our things that we do. Go above and beyond what Google thinks they can do. There's another thing that a lot of people don't know about, and that's, what if you go online and you find, let's see if it works with the PDF. I haven't tried it yet, but it usually works with an image. It's too much. Let me see if I can down one for you. Let's say that you find a great worksheet online, and there's two ways you can do this. I'm going to show you this way. Let's say science. Trying to find one with all, here we go. Try this one.
You're saying that as an image?
I'm saving it. Well, it's already an image. So I'm saving the image, and I'm going to show you how you can turn this image into actual text, so you don't have to have this retyped or redone. So science worksheets in my downloads, click save. So I just saved it to my hard drive. I just saved it to my computer. I go into my drive, new, upload. New, upload. There we go. Of course, it's acting slow. Come on. There you go. So it uploads it as an image. And you can't really do anything with that. I guess it won't work on this one. It has to all be just text. There, if it gives you the option to open with Google Docs, it will convert this image of text into actual text. They just added this last week. It recognizes the image, it recognizes font, and it recognizes letters, and it puts it back together as an actual assignment. I think it's because there's these lines here, and there's this big box that it's not doing it.
When you say it was added last week, was it added as to our domain or was
It should be added to everything. It should be added to everything.
tend to come in?
Come in later. I'll have to double check on my personal one, but yeah, you should be able to open up any image with text. It'll grab the text out, even handwriting, if it's not chicken scratch. So, like I said at the beginning of this, I want you to think of Google Classroom as your mission control. This is where the kids go every day so they know for a fact what they need to do every day. Just like they come in and take out their pencil and their paper and their books, they need to take out their computer or their device and go straight to Google Classroom. And from there, you can push them off onto their missions. That mission could be doing a starter. That mission can be answering a question. Those are their missions. But there's a lot of great things out there that make the mission even more fun and more educational. So I want to show you a few things that I use in my class using Google Classroom that are great and easy to use. Now, some of you may have been in some of my other workshops, and so you may be familiar with some of these, but I wanted to show them to you if you've never seen them. One of them is called Nearpod. So Nearpod. Question.
What's the benefit of using Nearpod versus Guru?
Which guru?
The Guru product, like Google's little platform is exactly the same.
Well,
The Guru learning platform, so you can load everything in.
I haven't used Guru. What is it called?
Nearpod.
It's what? Guru?
Let's see. It is Gooru.
Are you? Guru Learning?
That's it. Click that, there it goes.
Okay, I'm going to have to look into that. But I will. If it's better than Nearpod, I will scrap Nearpod and go with Guru.
What's?
Oh, what is it? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, so basically what it is, it's a platform, and it's always it's freemium. So the free version allows you up to 20 megabyte presentations and up to 30 students at a time, because they assume that we have 30 students in our class. I wish they would push it up to 40 because that'd be good. But it allows you to have a PowerPoint pushed out to all the kids' device at the same time. And whenever you want, ask a question, ask them to do an activity, send them to a different website, bring them back when you want them to come back, show them a video. So all these things so that you have control of the lesson so that the kids aren't going off task or staying behind to read something, or maybe you had a video you wanted them to watch and they want to rewatch the video over and over because it's funny. It pushes them on to the next slide whenever you want.
So Joe, in the AM, we have 74 that we're teaching at one time. So could you do 3 Nearpods and call them something different, but they're all doing the same task simultaneously?
As long as they're from 3 different teachers.
Well, could I get?
You could
Coming from the same computer, I could use the 3 teachers in the lab's name.
You could. There is the gold account, which is like $9.
A month.
I believe, yeah, $9 a month. or the teacher account, which is $90 total, and you get up to 200 kids at a time, and 80 megabyte presentations. I was able to get my school to purchase the science department school accounts for them, because we use them all the time, and we use lots of videos within there. But before that, I was using the free version. I just had the kids double up on a computer, and instead of typing in their names, they do it as a team. But let me show you what it is, and by having you guys be a student. So all you need to do is stay in your classroom. All you need to do is stay in your classroom, and I'm going to push out a presentation to you. Okay, so just stay in your classroom. So all I do is I go to Nearpod, or let's go Formative. Sorry, I'll show you that later. Nearpod, there it is. As a teacher, all you have to do is sign in with your Google account. You don't have to create a new account. It just it attaches to your Google account. I'm going to go to my library. And let's see, let me do one. We've been talking about planets, so I'll do one on planets.
The other one at the top.
Oh, I think there's one down here that I made a while back.
Is this just science stuff? on there?
No, there's everything. There's everything. Here we go, planets. And I'm going to do it as a live session. The great thing is you can do a live session, which is teacher-paced, or a homework session, which is student-paced. So I always do a live session with my kids, and I go through the slides, we go through the videos, we go through all the activities. But when I'm done, I always post a homework version. I go, if you guys got lost or there's something you wanted to go over again, you didn't understand, click on the homework version and you can go through it at your own pace whenever you want. There's no limit to how many kids can do the homework version. So I click on live session, and all I do is push it to classroom. There's a little button right here, push to classroom. It asks, which classroom do you want to push it to? I want to push it to tech training. This is just an announcement, not an assignment, and I click go.
What if you want to do it with all your classes? At the library, you can do it all.
Want to do the home?
Multiple, like.
It won't let you do
More than one class.
it won't let you choose more than one, but what you can do is post it to period one, go in and repost to all of them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time. Now, if you look in your classroom, you should see the thing down there that says stream updated, go to the top, and it should have a one-click button where you can go to Nearpod. Classroom.com. Oh, and when you
Pluto's back in the mix.
on this one. And for some reason, my screen is freezing. I'm gonna push this into my to-do list real quick.
You post that into a to-do list.
I just posted into my taskbar up here.
My favorite.
Yeah. And under new Google.
This is a fun.
Hold on. I don't know why that was not pushing it out. wire in here anywhere. Oh, I can't get. I don't bring my dongle for that one either. Do all of you see the picture on your screen? Mine's not moving.
If it's in your pod, though, you just go to Google and type it in, or is that an add-on?
It's a another company that works well with Google Classroom, just with one button click. It's just nearpod.com. I believe the link is in the Classroom stream already. I don't know what. We'll skip this for now. It's not allowing me to move ahead. So let me show you. Has anybody ever used Kahoot?
Yes.
Yep. So to post Kahoot in your classroom, all you have to do is post it as kahoot.it in your classroom. And that's just a link you would just repost all the time. So you guys ready to Kahoot, and you post a link, and then you just post up your link right up there. Right? So if I went to Kahoot, and they need to get a single sign in with this one. So in Classroom, all I would do is go to plus, repost, find a Kahoot that I used right here. Kahoot.
Joanne, I noticed you had a Kahoot jigsaw. Is that an option?
No, what I have my kids do is the way we jigsaw, instead of drawing at a board, I have them read their pages. They find 5 things that were new that they know about. They turn those into questions, and then they make a 5-question Kahoot. And we all play their Kahoots to learn. That's how we introduce the units. But now in yours, notice you can just click on the Kahoot, and then all I have to do is click over here, and you can type in the page. And I know it's, the kids can always type in kahoot.it themselves, but by having it in Classroom, it's just a one-click easy button for the kids to go in and join.
It's supposed to be Kahooty.
Oh, you can. I just wanted to show you an easy way for you to input the Kahoots into the Classroom. And then notice, if you've never used Kahoot before, you're like, oh, I want you to use your real name. You come in here and just click them out. Or if they, and especially in high school, they'll come up with these names. You're like, oh, gone. Don't even say that's a horrible name. Just go, gone. And then, we'll just play the first question. If the committee votes yes or ought to pass, where does the bill go? Disney World. Well, it all depends on where it started. Okay, and so that's an easy way for the Kahoots to go in. Another great one that I like to use. So Kahoots I use for quick assessments, like on a Monday. Quick 10 questions to see if they remembered stuff from the previous week. There's another one I like to use called Quizzes. Quizzizz. And I use this for longer assessments. Let's say 20 plus questions. And Kahoot is teacher paced. Quizzes is student paced. So they get to take a little bit longer on each question. And the same thing in Classroom, all I would do is come in, go to repost, and I would click on quizzes because I've already done it before, and it's just join.quizzes.com. But I post it, and now all you would have to do is click on that link, and you can join a quizzes. And the great thing about this is you can play it live or attach it as homework. So they can play this again on their own to review for a test or a quiz. You can't do that with a Kahoot very easily. They can't really review on their own.
You have to create that PIN number.
Correct. Yeah. And so what the homework one does, it creates a homework PIN number. So that never changes on the kids. And then you would just start typing in the code. The code's 91221. And the same thing, if they have a name you don't like, you can come in and cross it off. To get the kids logged in faster, you tell them the faster you log in, the better avatar you get. The lower, the last in line gets like a stick or a worm. Nobody wants to be that. And then when you start the game, notice on my screen, I get a race. It tells me who's where. So they've answered one question, and I can see all the way towards the end. I know they've all answered the question correctly because I have it green right here. I can see up here that there's 7 correct and 0 wrong. So you all know quite a bit about superheroes. I can also scroll a little bit more, and I can see which questions have a high rate of answering correctly and which answer has a low rate of answering correctly. I love doing this before an actual unit exam because I can come in and see like, whoa, that question got a really low score. And I'll tell you right now, the one person who can calm the Hulk down always gets a low score.
Now, is there no limit on how many can do this at one time?
There's no limit on how many can do this at once. And just like with, and then like I said up here, you can see that Casey's going really good. And then all of a sudden started coming in. And you can see that Casey and Dee and Chris and, is that Daniel? Deb? Oh, Debbie. Deb now. They're going pretty good, but Patrick is a little bit behind. And so I would kind of walk by Patrick and just kind of sit behind to make sure he's on task and not looking things up and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But just like Kahoot, when you're done, it creates analytics for you. You can see which question was best answered, which question was low answered, who did well, who did the best, who did the least. And as you can see, after each one of your questions, you're ranked, say who you're in front of and who you're behind. So it kind of creates it as a, a competition. So nobody knows who can calm the Hulk down. It's like Betty Ra, yeah, something like that. It's because she's not in the Marvel universe right now.
Did you create this?
No. I stole it from somebody else. I borrowed it from somebody else.
Those little memes, you didn't do those little.
They automatically put the memes in. Quizzes automatically puts in the memes along the way.
Probably doing better if I wasn't.
So this is the same with Kahoot, like it's got shared ones from people, so you can just type in.
Correct. Yeah, you just go to their vast universe, type in what you're looking for, and there's tons, and you can copy it and then edit it and change the questions, change the answers, make it your own. Because there's a lot of stuff at the beginning that from 5th and 6th grade, there's a lot of good questions, but they don't go in depth enough. So I can add a little bit of stuff in there and make them a little bit stronger for 8th grade students. Because the high school stuff is, some of these people, I'm like, that's like a college question.
We're playing on the student version, but the teacher version is a lot like the Kahoot.
Correct. Yeah, they're almost exactly the same, except like I said, Kahoots I use for the shorter, quick assessments, and it's teacher paced, all the classes following at the same time. And then this is for longer assessments Are you ready for the exam? Or what do you know about this material before we even get started on learning about it?
Can you change the music?
I've never tried changing the music. I don't think so. You can all my kids have headphones that I have for them, so they always plug in, and they seem to do better with the music. But when you end the game, it gives me the analytics of all the kids, all the questions, and then you can save the data to be used as points if you really wanted to use it as like not competition, participation points. Another great one, and this is where we can use that little science thing, is Go Formative. And so watch this. Here, it's the easiest thing. So you know that picture we downloaded, right? Let's say it's something we wanted our kids to use, but man, you don't want to go and make copies. And they all have devices, so why should we make copies? And you don't want to sit there and retype it. You want to use it right now. All I do is click on New Assignment. Upload and transform. Click on it. And it was called Science something. Science worksheet. There it is. Open. There it is. Right there. Picture of my planet. I click on the, well, actually, let me go. What is the name of my planet? I click the little plus button, add a question, short answer, and I don't have to type in a question because the question's already there. And if you don't want it to be worth 10 points, just erase the 0. My planet is named after, once again, plus, add question, short answer. I don't have to type in a question because it's already there. I erase the 0 because I only want it worth 1 point. And that's all you do. And then, oh, what about the drawing thing? Whoops. I click here, add question, show your work. Your planet. Work 5. Done. I can do it for all of them right here. And now all I have to do is click assign. I want to assign it to everyone, to classroom. Tech trainings. It's an announcement. Actually, I want to make it an assignment. And informative and assign. So go ahead and click on your classroom and you should see formative in there. So click on that. And it'll come up with something like continue without logging in, that big purple one, and just type in your name. That's how I would get your data. And there you go. And all you do is click on the 1. You could log in with Google, or you could just, sign in without logging in. If you're on there, it'll work. Now, I want to show you the cool thing about this. So this is what you should see. You should see the planet report with these little dots, but I see this. I see your answers popping up the moment you start typing. I can see everybody that's here, or I can see it as a summary view of the class, and I can see what question they're on and how far along they are. as the class is going. If I want to point things out to students, but I don't want their name to be up here so they don't think they're getting, you know, I just turn off their names. And now I can show examples to students without pushing out somebody's name. So that's a way that you can have kids leave comments on something without having their names shown up there.
But this one's strictly for assessment purposes. They can't like go do the research and fill in those,
They could, yeah, you can definitely do that.
but not from here. They have to do it for a new tab at all, right?
Correct. Yeah, they'd have two tabs and go back and
Unlike the
forth.
other one where it allows you to.
Correct. Correct. And with this, all you have, and you can leave comments as well. You all right? And so all I do to give you points, there's a little slider, full credit, done. Full credit, done. Full credit, done. Full credit, done. Now, if this was a multiple choice question, you can plug in the answer, and if they get it right, they get the credit. If they get it wrong, they lose the credit. So you can have it automatically grade for you if you wanted to. But this is how you can turn any worksheet, whether it's a PDF, Word document, image, anything that somebody else has already made, even somebody's handwritten thing, and you're like, I'm going to scan this, and now you put that in, that can be used. Anything. And like I said, it's fill in the blank, it's multiple choice, it's draw. This one is completely free. There is no paid version for this. There is no upgrade, and they don't plan on it. It's all made for teachers by teachers. This is made by a teacher from the Los Angeles County Office of Education, and he just said, I needed to find something that makes it easy for teachers to use technology and something that makes them want to use technology and something easy for the kids to use. Now, let me show you how I've used this in my science class. We go a little bit more in depth. You can separate it by folders, and you can even have kids join. You can create classes in this. So here's the problem with what I gave you. As soon as you log out, I have all of your information, I have all of your answers, but let's say you didn't finish and you wanted to finish at home. You can't re-log in to the same document you were working on because you don't have an account with Formative. But if they join your class, they can go back and forth whenever they want, especially if you leave comments. So, and it tells me all of the students that are in my class right here. They're supposed to add where you click on their name and it shows you how far along they are on each assignment. That's supposed to be coming. But under my units, let's go to my labs, Jigsaw, homework, labs.
So you still you are the only one who is signed into this. They never actually signed into Formative.
So for my class, they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they sign in with their Google account. I sent you their thing, and they utilize the Khan Academy student privacy laws, which is basically the highest student privacy you can get. And so that's what they go off of. So we can have them log in with their student Google account, and it links right to their Google account. And so all they have to do is click on the link, and it takes them and automatically logs them in and everything. And then all they would have to do is click join class. And then they type in your class code. So yeah, and they float on top of each other. So this is basically one of our most interactive labs, because all I had to do for my students is say, start the lab. I didn't explain the lab. I didn't go over the lab procedure. I said, start the lab. And so take a look at this. All they read the background information. I embedded a Nearpod. And so they can go through why we're doing the lab and the lab procedures all on their own. There's a reminder that tells them everything every question should contain. So they have to hit all 4 of those spots to get full credit. If they wanted, they have to put down their hypotheses. right here. Here is a Zaption. Oh, I didn't show you the Zaption yet. A Zaption of how the lab is set up. So it tells them how to do the entire lab in video form. And they can stop it and rewatch it whenever they want if they get stuck. Here's the lab procedure in written format. All I did is upload the lab sheet that we used to have. And then there's their tubes, and they color it in based on which color went to the bottom and which color went to the top. And here's their live results. All right here. What is density? Remember, no cut and pasting answers. I mean, I don't want them to Google it and copy and paste what density was. They need to write it in their own words.
So did they actually do this lab, or they were watching it done all the time?
No, they did the lab.
They did the lab.
They did the lab, yeah. So they went, they got all their answers questioned with the Nearpod, which was the homework version. They got to go through it on their own. If they got stuck on that, they watched the video of how the lab's supposed to be done. And then below that was a step-by-step on how the lab is done. But they're doing the entire lab themselves. And I believe this is the one I asked them to post pictures. So let's see.
Joe, is this how you explain how the locks work and the seawater doesn't infiltrate the salt and spread?
No, I didn't go that deep. I went as deep because they were like, "Ooh, look pretty." That's as far as they go. But see, all of their drawings are right here. They're supposed to see that one side layered out very nicely, no matter which order you put them in, and the other side, no matter what you did, always combined. And the answer, why did that happen? And it's because the higher the density, the lower it goes, the lower the density, the higher. So why did these all mix? Because they were all the same density. And so that was the idea we're trying to get behind. So they did a really good job and then, mixed it up right there. But I'm seeing this happen in real time though. So I don't have to wait and collect their labs and then go through it and then grade it and then leave comments on that and then turn it back in and then they correct their comments and return it in. All I do is I come in here and I leave comments directly. Oh, my screen froze again. But I leave the comment directly on this. And when they log into Formative, up in the top, they'll have a little thing. You have a comment. They'll read the comment. They'll fix it. And then I'll get a notification. So-and-so fixed their comment. I can go back and regrade it and rescore it for them.
Can we guess who the boys and girls are?
So that's that one. So that's any worksheet. Any worksheet. And in fact, some people say that Formative can kind of take over, using Google Classroom. I don't see it that way. I think they need to work in conjunction. But they're like, oh, that Formative can be its own LMS. I'm like, no, not really. It's kind of different. But I've been using that one a lot because I get great student feedback. I can show really bad hypotheses and really good hypotheses. And like, you see where you're at, you need to be at this level. You need to be at this person's. And I turn off the kid's name so they can't be like, oh, why are you pointing me out? And I tell them, I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest. This is not a good hypothesis. You didn't include this. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. And look at this person. They included this and this and this. This is what you need to strive to get right then and there. And the last one I wanted to show you before I can answer any of your questions is Zaption. Debbie, have you been playing around with Zaption a little bit more?
A little bit.
So let me, and I have to show you the two different ways because it's pretty awesome. And once again, it connects to Google. So you don't have to create an account. You just sign in with Google and you're in. Your students don't have to log into Google. Your students don't have to join Zaption. Okay, so there's nothing they have to join. But watch this. So I want you all to answer questions on how a bill becomes a law. So I click on the little arrow, and I created all these. And all you do, there's two different ways you can do it. You can grab any YouTube video, or you can upload your own video. As of right now, I recommend uploading your own video because YouTube doesn't work on the kids' computers and all that stuff. But it allows them to watch a video and you can input any question anywhere during the video. So no more video worksheets. They have to watch the video. They have to answer the question. And here's the great thing. They can't fast forward. They can't rewind. And if they get the question wrong, it rewinds them and they have to rewatch the section again. So let me show you how a bill becomes a law. I click on share with Classroom. Take trainings. I'm just going to make it an announcement. All right, so check yours. Check your Classroom. And I do want you to be mindful that all of my kids have headphones. So you are going to hear everybody playing this video and you're going to hear stuff. All of my kids have headphones.
It's all good. 56 seconds.
Did I not turn off the fast forward?
It does let you fast forward, doesn't it?
Oh, I must not have turned that off. I can always go back in and change it under my preferences. But you can see in real time, I'm collecting data. I know who got it right, who got it wrong, all the way through. Distribution of answers, who got A, C, B, all up here. All right, so that's the regular Zaption. That's if you want the kids to work individually and with headphones. Okay, so if we can stop that one, I want to show you the newest version that Zaption pushed out, and it's called Zaption Presenter or Zaption Presentation. So as the instructor, I will play the video up here, and it will stop, and you will have like a controller on your screen, and you answer the question, kind of like a Kahoot on your screen. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. So all I do, Control C, I post this in Classroom as an announcement.
You're doing an announcement because you're showing it right then and there.
Correct. And then once I post it as an announcement, I can just repost it whenever I need this one again, this link again. And so you should be able to see where it says Zaption, and you type in this code, 3HP8P.
For this particular game or any time?
For this particular one. Yeah, for this particular session.
And this will show you how many times that like they got it wrong, and then they had to go back and listen to it again. It'll give you that data.
Now, this one won't rewind the people because you're presenting it, but you'll see who got it right and who got it wrong. So did everybody type in the code? So we're going to start it.
Hi,
I'm Craig, and this is Crash Course Government and Politics. And today, I've got my work cut out for me because I'm going to try to do something that every single social studies teacher in the U.S. has tried to do. You know, there's a perfectly good cartoon you can just show. It's from the 70s. It's catchy. It's fun. That's right. Today, we're going to learn how a bill becomes a law, but we're not going to be able to license the Schoolhouse Rock song. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a... You know what has a bill? An eagle.
If you've never used Crash Course Chemistry in your class, or Crash Course, they have it for biology,
Okay, I think
chemistry,
the only way we're gonna
physics,
possibly be able to
social,
do
everything.
Schoolhouse Rock
It's
is
great.
to jump right into the thought bubble with our own cartoon and stop talking about Schoolhouse Rock. So let's start at the very beginning, which in this case is a congressman or a senator introducing a bill. The real beginning is when he or she has an idea for a law. And even this might come from an interest group, the executive branch, or even the constituents. But the formal process begins with the legislator introducing the bill. After it's introduced.
Okay, so on your screen, notice you get the question on your screen. It says, the president introduced, how does the process of a bill become a law start? And it shows me how many people have answered right down here.
Now, does it time out on them?
Nope, it just tells me how much time is here, but I could end it whenever I want. I can move on. And so there's 100%, and I can show that all of you got it correct. Nobody chose an average American or the president. And then I can show, and then finally I can go, and that is the correct answer. Right? And then now we can move along to the next question.
The bill is referred to a committee. Although most bills can start in either house, except for revenue bills, which must start in the house. Let's imagine that our bill starts in the...
And at any time, if you get lost, you have a little button with a hand. So you can raise your hand, and I can answer the question. It'll notify me that somebody has a question.
Formal legal language or markup and vote on it. If the markup wins a majority in the committee, it moves to the floor of the full Senate for consideration. The Senate decides.
So once a bill is introduced, where does it go?
On all these crash courses, is he talking that fast?
Yeah, they all talk fast. I think that's a prerequisite of getting the job.
Huh.
I've applied a couple times. And then once again, it shows me that everybody chose a committee, and then I clicked on show me the correct answer, and it's in green, and you all got it correct. And so this is a way for it to be an interactive video. Some teachers are like, but I have to stand up and do that for every class? I play a video for a specific reason, and that's so I won't have to stand up in front of class.
Let's say Patrick had the wrong answer on there. Would it just show the percentages that somebody had the wrong answer, or will you see on your screen who it was?
So at this moment, I wouldn't see who got it wrong. You know, plus you don't want to be shouting out to the people who got it wrong.
Well, no,
right?
I'm wondering if you.
But
would see it.
under the analytics it's collecting, it will show they got it wrong. So you go back to your Zaptions, click on analytics, and it'll show you who got it wrong. And so you guys kind of get the point with this. It's all of these things, answering the questions. So it's basically an interactive Kahoot in this fashion. But you get a lot more out of your videos this way than just saying, hey, watch this, right? You hand out a video worksheet. The kids are not watching, they're goofing around, and you're like, okay, 5 minutes, you turn that sheet in. Oh, what'd you get for this? Oh, what'd you get for that? They're not learning anything. So with this, especially with the individual one, that's my favorite one to use is the individual one. They have to watch it. They have to answer the questions. It tells me how long they spent on each question, how many times they attempted that question. So it helps me understand, you know, the logic in the kids. Plus, it allows you to have them draw. I'm doing an atoms one tomorrow, and there's a part after learning this, draw me your best representation of an atom. So I haven't showed it to them yet. They just watched the video, but can they get an idea of what it is after watching the Bill Nye's atom video? Zaption is a pretty neat company as well, coming up with a lot of cool things you can use. And then here's that analytics button I was talking about right up here. You can see how many people have viewed it since you created it. What's the average amount of viewing time? Who completed all of the questions? So it is 6:26 or something. I'll stay here as long as you need me to answer questions for you. But was there anything that you came here wanting to know really bad and I did not cover? Because my whole idea is if you come here for something and don't get it, I don't want you leaving until you get it. So did I not cover something that you would like me to go over again or at all?
I just want help setting up a class.
Okay, I can. Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I have a classroom built, my first assignment loaded in. They log into their Google, click the little,
Little plus
grid,
button.
Yeah, or the plus button or the grid to try to find it.
So let's actually do this. So I'm going to open it up as a student. So here's my student one. All right. So the way that you log in, remember you logged into your account. They're going to log into cusdstudent.com and you logged into your long one. And they're going to go to classroom.google.com. If they've never logged into it ever, it's going to come up with that screen that says, are you a teacher or are you a student? No matter what they press, it's going to automatically mark them as a student. In fact, it should automatically have them already marked as a student, right? Because I haven't had a kid come up with that screen in a long time.
They can't choose teacher unless I manually put them in as a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. So no matter what they choose, they're going to be a student anyways. And then they're going to have a blank screen, a big old black screen like a chalkboard, and it'll have a little arrow pointing to this plus button. And all the kids are going to do is click on the plus button. They're going to click join class. They won't even have the option to create a class. Okay. They're going to click join class, and they're going to type in your join code. And once again, where is that join code? It's going to be in two places. Bless you. It's going to be right here, the third box down. Or it's going to be under students right up here in the corner. And the code never changes unless you want to change it.
Can you try mine?
Yeah, I could try yours. So I will join as a student. What's your code? I G W L V 6. Fine. Boom, I'm in. And there it is, Energy Project 2015. Let me click on it. And there it is. It already has my name. And you should actually be able to see if you click on my name that the icon popped up so you know that I've opened it. Now I click on it. And boom, it's right there. Enter title there. Click perfect. And it's all set. All right there in research. And for them, once again, is under the tools. They can do their research project right there. Right. If you ever want to leave a class, you go back to your classes, you go to the little snowmen or snowballs or whatever you want to call those, and click unenroll.
Can I sign in as a student to my own like you did to yours?
You would need a CUSD student email. And if you'd like one, email me and I'll make you one.
And you can't do it via your own email. It has to have that.
You cannot. Yeah, Gmail. Classroom is only available for GAF accounts, Google Apps for Education. It'll be like, we don't know who you are, or we don't know what you're
Because I want to
doing.
do the same thing you just did.
Yeah.
Because I want, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, just email me and I'll make you a CUSD student account.
Can you delete classes?
Yeah.
That's right there.
Yeah, but it's, let me go to my teacher classes. So if I wanted to delete this one, it's actually called archive. And so it'll remove it. Because, you may want to go back to see what you did in that class previously, so it doesn't completely delete it. Google doesn't like to delete anything. It likes to save everything. Google saves your, every time you talk to your phone, it saves that, right? Every time you watch a YouTube video, it saves that, right? Every time you type in, everything is saved in Google. You guys all know that, right? Every place you've ever been, ever with your phone, it records that as well.
You notice all those ads are.
Yeah, you go to history.google.com and it shows everything that Google's been tracking you.
That's why those ads show up.
Mhm.
When I'm looking at other stuff.
So, and every search you've ever done, it saves that as well. So you better watch that digital footprint. I've been doing these presentations for the kids a long time. Oh, and then one last thing. I was showing this to those who came early. If you want to get your, like, let's say the year's halfway done, you have all these assignments and you don't want to scroll through your stream to find all of them, you can always click on view all and it'll bring up all your assignments so you can easily view them. Because I know I allow my students 2 times to review, to look at their comments and change their answer to get it better. Because I say that, you know, we shouldn't end until you have a great answer, and I'm going to help you do that. And so sometimes it'll be like a month and they've redid it and I don't know where to find it. So I click on view all and it shows them all down the way.
Thanks, Joe.
There, you got it. Any other questions at all? If you have any questions later on, you're like, oh, I wanted to ask this or ask that, please feel free to email me. Remind me that you attended this session and your question gets answered before everybody else. You get moved to the top of the queue.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this session right now. You can go back. I will post this in our classroom. I'll post that in a minute.